It's hard to see, but that little black dot there is hummingbird. And it's sitting in one of the dead trees on the edge of my garden. And that little fella, although I think that's actually a female, it's backlit so it's hard to tell, but anyway, they are pest control for very small insects. They eat things like gnats and fruit flies and mosquitoes and that sort of thing, in addition to the nectar from the flowers. They like to sit up in the little twigs like that where they feel secure. And then they come down and they eat sometimes from my cowpeas over here. But the thing that really keeps them coming around isn't one of my crops at all, or at least it's not one that I plant. I just leave it where it grows for the most part. And that's the jewelweed here, which is great. It's an excellent medicinal plant. It's good for salves for skin that are, like if you have skin irritations, or for treating poison ivy. It's a really good soothing plant for making skin ointments. And it blooms, as long as it's got moisture, it blooms from pretty early in the season all the way up until frost, just as long as it doesn't dry out too much. And that kind of gives you an indication of how the water is in my garden too. That you can see there's a big patch of it over there and here. There was some over here, and there's still a little bit, but that kind of got wiped out when I was doing other work, unfortunately. You can see there's some up there, over there, which is up near the very top of the garden, so like almost the driest area in the garden, and there's still jewelweed growing there and doing well. So that gives you an idea of how well the soil moisture holds up here, and how we have sort of reworked the water movement to where it gradually comes down through the soil profile from up the hill. As you can see, I'm still doing cleanup over here around the compost pile. But yeah, that's one of my favorite little things that has been going on in the garden is the hummingbirds have decided that this is a good place to hang out, and I see them here every single day. They've been just buzzing around, and I've got to make sure that I keep that habitat up for them, make sure there's good, safe twig perches, make sure the jewelweed keeps going, so I'm careful to not pull it, you know, I got to get in over here and pull some of the bigger weeds out of it. There's some biddens and some ragweed in there that have to be pulled out before they set seed, but I'll try as best I can to not pull too much of the jewelweed while I'm doing that. And up there is a solid stand, so it should reseed that whole area no problem. And then next year I'll put in some more intentional crops for them as well. Limas and runner beans, and a whole lot more cowpeas next season. There's going to be a whole lot more cowpeas in the garden next year. But yeah, so hummingbirds, pest control, pollinator, all around cool little critter that hangs out in the garden, as long as they've got good perches and good nectar forages.